well, let's get right to it. It's time for some over-under on the various watches that will be going on in the 2019 season. If you're confused, you won't be. Stick with us. We're going to start with the first one. It's the Jason Garrett Hot Seat Watch. The over-under that we have set is Week 8. When does the Hot Seat Watch begin for Jason Garrett specifically? Is he, I guess the way we're supposed to do this is he gone? Does the Hot Seat begin Week 8 or is he gone Week 8? Let's do it with he's gone by Week 8.
No.
Over, under. Are you over or let's go Hot Seat then.
Yeah,
let's go
hot seat. I'm still over. I'm going to go over. And you know, again, I'd feel a lot more comfortable if Ezekiel Elliott was there, but I still look at this football team and just go, man, there is just talent everywhere. It's hard to really find a weakness in the roster of the Dallas Cowboy football team. And the other thing I think that leads me to say over, too, is, hey, coaches know it's a big year. They're desperate. You know, they know the seat's semi-warm to begin with. And here's the other point if you're watching on TV. The schedule, especially early on, pretty favorable. You know, Giants, Redskins, Dolphins, hey, I expect the Dallas Cowboys and the team they have to beat those three teams. Saints, I know. Packers, hey, those are dicey. At the Jets, they should win those. So I just can't imagine them being in a bad enough spot to where the hot seat talk quite starts yet.
Well, no, and I think that this means when he's out, Chris, because Week 8 is their bye week, and that is the traditional time where the opportunity is to say,
see ya,
hit the road.
Right.
And I think that I don't think that he'll be gone by then. Look, Jerry Jones has only fired one head coach during the season, and that was Wade Phillips, and that was after insisting he's not going to fire Wade Phillips, and he did.
Right.
But you know what? If the first half of the season is a just flat-out total disaster and they're out of contention as a practical matter, and I know anybody can turn it around in the second half, but sometimes bringing in that interim head coach is what helps you turn it around in the second half. So, under either standard, I think Week 8 is a fair assessment because that's the opportunity to fire a Jason Garrett if you're Jerry Jones. That gives you the maximum time to get a new guy ready, and I don't think that's all that unreasonable because he's entering the last year of his contract, and if the Cowboys have a disastrous start, if they're 2-6, that's a fair point to look at it, although I don't think they're going to have that kind of a disastrous start. So I think he'll keep the job all year long. But, it's at least worth discussing because he's in the last year of his contract. You're not talking about that big buyout that would happen on the back end.
Right, but you're going over, right? That's official? You said the over if you have.
I'm going over. Yeah, I think I'm going over.
Okay, all right. Just wanted to clarify.
All right, let's move on to the next one then. And we'll do these as when the uproar begins among media and fans, just to make it clear. The bench Eli uproar, Week 6, over or under?
Oh, gosh, this is a tough one. I was encouraged the way, and I know he only threw one pass. I was encouraged the way Eli looked, and I, of course, have told you that I have so many great reports about Eli through training camp so far, and the way he looks, and the arm looks better. The mechanics have gotten a little tighter as far as how he throws the football. I think I'm going to go over here too. And this is I don't feel totally comfortable with this, but I think with the way they're going to play, the offensive line being fixed up, Saquon Barkley, I think this is a team that's trying to prove something to everybody because, hey, we can still win if Odell Beckham Jr. is not here. It's a big year for Pat Shurmur. His second year, number one, wasn't all that great. To where I think maybe he can at least shed off the boo birds, maybe till about week 9 or 10 at least. I don't know if 3-3, I don't think that's going to be enough to get it done. 2-4, I don't think that's going to bring out the total boo birds either. I don't think the Giants fans here are expecting Super Bowl, so I think they'll give a little leeway to Eli.
Look at Week 6, though. What is it? It's at the Patriots.
Right.
And if they go to New England and if they get lambasted by the Patriots, that is when it's going to start. Because the argument's going to be, hey, you've got the Cardinals coming to town the next week.
Right.
That's a game that Daniel Jones can win. Start him at home against a team that is trying to find its way and new head coach, and the defense may not be very good, and Daniel Jones can have a confidence builder. So if the team doesn't decide that Daniel Jones should be the starter before Week 6, I think that is the moment. That's dead on the moment when the fans are going to start clamoring. So I'm not going to go over or under. I'm going to say Week 6 is right there. So make it Week 6.5, and I'll take.
You're going the push. You're just going the push there.
I'm going the push. Yeah, because I think that's the way it's set up. That's when the fan. If Eli is still the quarterback, that is most likely the point where the fans are going to say we want Daniel Jones. Yeah. If not earlier, I'm tempting. I'm still going to go push. I'm tempted to say under.
Well, I know. It would help if we could see Eli Manning in more than 3 plays. You know, that's the toughest thing about some of these. You know, you want to see a little more evidence to just go, ooh, what does he look like? What is that offense going to look like in totality? But nonetheless, this is what we're doing, and it's fun. So let's keep it going.
All right, the Dwayne Haskins watch. Week 6 to be the starting quarterback in Washington. We don't know who the Week 1 starter is going to be. Adrian Peterson thinks Colt McCoy has the edge. Case Keenum is there as well. Week 6 for the rookie, 15th overall pick, who looked a little rough last week in Cleveland in his preseason debut. Chris, what do you think?
Yeah, I want to tend to go with the under on this one because of there is no Eli Manning to supplant. You know, the people, I really respect Case Keenum. I think he's a lot better than people give him credit for. But the public, I don't think necessarily agrees with that assessment, nor is he a household name or a guy that fans and an organization want to latch on to go, oh, this is a franchise guy, look at him. So I'm not seeing good things for the Washington Redskins. I mean, there's aspects of their team I like. The Trent Williams situation is scary to me. I don't know what to think of them overall right now. Who are the weapons in the pass game? All those things concern me with Washington, and I think because of Dwayne Haskins and his talent and the fact that there is not that marquee guy ahead of him, that we see some of the people clamoring in Washington just to get him out there and let's get the Dwayne Haskins era started.
Something I hadn't noticed while we were watching Dwayne Haskins highlights earlier.
Yeah.
It's preseason for the yellow line guy, too. Did you see that yellow line that didn't
Yes.
It didn't finish the field, and it was crooked? The yellow line guy's in the preseason also. But if we could pull that frame up, that would be hilarious. But anyway, Dwayne Haskins, I think you're right.
There it is.
This is like, there it is. Oh, yellow line guy, you need a little work. It's good that there's 4 preseason games, yellow line guy.
Holy
crap.
He's
you have
only
one
off by
job.
20 yards there.
You have one job, yellow line guy. All right, so with Dwayne Haskins, it's like having a brand new car that everybody wants to drive, and meanwhile you're tooling around in the Ford Escort, no offense, and the Chevy Vega. I mean, we know what Colt McCoy can do. We know what Case Keenum can do. We don't know what Dwayne Haskins can do. Let's put the pedal to the metal. Let's take it out on the road, and let's drive it. And I think there's going to be that type of anxiety among Washington fans, especially because, let's face it, do we really expect them to be good? They started off really good last year because they had Alex Smith.
Right.
This year at the Eagles, that's a loss. Cowboys, that's a loss. Bears, that's a loss. At the Giants, maybe you get lucky, probably not. Patriots, that's a loss. So, yeah, they're going to be wanting to see what Dwayne Haskins can do because they're going to be feeling by the middle of October like it's over anyway.
And the same thing you said with, like, the Daniel Jones thing. You know, it's at the Patriots, and then the next week is the Dolphins where you'd go, oh, okay, let's start them against that team. I mean, that makes sense as far as that logic goes, too.
All right, AB Tantrum watch, second quarter of week 1. Oh, come on, that's not fair. I'll take the under.
You take the under? I will definitely go with the over. I think we don't see a tantrum, for a few weeks into the season. I mean, week 1, I really envision this like he's going to have 10 receptions by halftime. He really is. Now, it might be 10 receptions for like 64 yards or something like that, but they're going to feed the beast. I know that. And, you watched Hard Knocks last night and last week. Hey, this is the new toy. I mean, Gruden's ready to pull his hair out that he hasn't been able to, have fun with this guy out on the football field. He will make up for it and make sure Antonio Brown's happy because it's going to make him happy too when the offense is getting him the ball. So I'm certainly going over there.
Hey, I will say this. He's not going to have 10 catches. He's going to have 10 targets. Whether they actually are caught depends upon how accurately the passes are thrown to him. That is the great laboratory experiment here that has been glossed over by the frozen feet, by the helmet fight. Will Derek Carr be able to deliver the ball as accurately as Ben Roethlisberger could to Antonio Brown? And what will Antonio Brown do the first time a hospital ball gets thrown in his direction? He has to stretch out and he takes a big hit from it. So I'm not taking the under because it's kind of funny that it's set for the second quarter of week 1. But I won't be surprised if at some point on that opening Monday night, because the cameras are going to be on him. It's going to be like the old days with Randy Moss. Everywhere where Antonio Brown goes, they're going to be watching him. So even the slightest little thing is going to get magnified. And I think there's a chance something is going to happen in that first game because I don't think it is going to start as smoothly as most people presume that it will. All right, one more before we take our break. The Gronk watch, week 5.
Over. I'm going over there all the way. I mean, just the way he looks right now, he's going to need more than just week 5 to get back to where he needs to be physically to play tight end. I'm going to push that one to where I don't think Gronk wants to deal with football in October if that happens. I think it's going to be Halloween time, early October. He's really going to feel the itch. And I could see, if anything, it'd be that week 10 bye where maybe some phone calls get made to go, hey, coach, I'm getting the itch and I'm back in the weight room and I'm almost back to my weight. I think I want to get back in. I would go like that week 11 Eagles game. I can imagine that in a crazy world.
And, the question becomes, when do we really start talking about the Gronk watch? But you look at the early season schedule, and I know the Patriots always start slowly because the early regular season is basically an extension of the preseason for them, and it takes them a while to get their sea legs. But they should be able to handle, who knows? I mean, it could be by week 5. If they would lose at home opening night to the Steelers like they lost at home opening night to the Chiefs a couple of years ago, and then you go to Miami. They always have a hard time in Miami, and Brian Flores is going to have something ready for him.
True.
It could be that the fans are clamoring to go get Gronk by the time week 5 rolls around. I'm going to take the under. He may not come back until week 10, but I think the fans, geez, there he is if you're watching on TV with that dog. Oh, boy. But he does need to put on about 20 pounds, Chris. But I know from the week that I spent at the beach, it's not that hard to gain about 10 pounds in a week if you really put your mind to it.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.